so they do leave up Olaf, just assuming, again, and probably rightly so, that TSM will pick the Udyr up. This is an interesting choice, though. Honestly, I actually do have a higher priority on the Udyr than the Olaf, so I think this is another small little adjustment from EG to further focus on PoE's champ pool. Yep, and there it is, even with the other options open. I'm still sticking to it. So this should be Rell Tristana. There's no reason to deviate here for EG, either on their side. And then we expect, of course, the Xayah on the side of TSM. I feel like we're in Groundhog's Day here, Captain Flowers.
Okay, let's see it. They're hovering over a couple of different things. Feels like they're just sort of clowning around with him a little bit. Tristana's still available. Where's our Tristana lock-in? We've already got the Rell. I hate this. You already know it's their jungler. Lillia's not going to be taken away. Tristana's available.
Are they saying, hey, the rocket jump is too unwieldy for Deftly? You got hit by that hook. You're off, Tristana, dude.
Oh, man.
Is that what this is? Because honestly, or they could have, a bait in the works. They're trying to bait TSM into taking it. Every team has jumped on the opportunity for this, for bottom side matchup. I will say that Lost, did have some aggressive, face checking in the last game. So if you're not on something that does have really good defensive properties like the Xayah, then you might get a little bit worried. I like this wrinkle, though. At least we're keeping it fresh, Flowers.
Yeah, buddy.
We do get the other look. But because of the rise in priority on banning away PoE's champ pool, with the Orianna, TSM, wait, we have to grab the Syndra in round 1 here. We have to grab it and just allow SwordArt to eat 2 more bans at support role coming up from EG after their pick and jump on.
Didn't hurt him last time.
So now we got to
hurt him last time.
What was the bait from EG? Definitely, this has been one of his favorite champions. Honestly, this just could be the I have more comfortable status here with Kaisa, even though Tristana is so powerful right now. He has so many games with Kaisa, most played champion here, and has a lot of success with EG on it.
Okay, Kaisa locked in. Kaisa versus Tristana. Both of these champions at the top tier of marksman for pretty much a long while now. Kaisa especially. Tristana feels like a little bit more of a recent thing, but Kaisa's been up there for quite a while. Now we will get to see how these bans shape up, and here's something. The Nocturne banned away, despite the fact that Impact was able to deal with Huni rather easily in the 1v1 there with the Volley Bear. Huni's impact later on in the game, how much value you can get out of the Paranoia there in a team fight. Remember that Deftly, when he was on that Tristana, the Paranoia on the back end made it so it was difficult for him to understand where the threats were coming from in that big team fight in mid that changed the game. So I like the Nocturne ban here. Again, switching things up some. Lucian will remain banned away. They want to keep Jiizuke off of that. Nautilus will be banned out. All right, they are recognizing what the catalysts for the turn were. They are specifically saying, nope, not again. We will not have a repeat of game number 3. So Nautilus is banned away, but hey, there's still the Rakan, there's still the Alistar that were both banned last time around. Of course, Rakan's priority falls a little bit without Xayah over there. Yone's banned away too, so both teams making a couple adaptations away from the game 3 rosters, and Jiizuke's bringing back the Nikko.
Insta-lock here, too. Slams it down into the Syndra. He's loving the early matchup here. Nikko can get a good push on Syndra, and you do have pretty good ult trading, too, because you do get that extra safety with Nikko if you're able to get close enough and just go for the all-in with Syndra. I'm pretty sure Jiizuke is going to look for possible all-in opportunities there. Again, it is a double AP magic type for mid lane and jungle for them, with Svenskeren having this high priority on Lillia, all series long though. So maybe we see some early magic resistance in the works for PowerOfEvil. No surprise there with the Alistar lock-in. Goes unbanned this time around, snapped up. I do just think it's so comical that EG got both parts out of the game-losing play, just out of this game. They're like, no way, we are not picking Tristana anymore. You have it, and we're banning away the Nautilus. So they really want to avoid the same interaction. And it does go for the split push look here for Huni. Gonna be the Camille. The only wrinkle left to adjust here is that Is he going to, depending on matchup, go for the more risky Ignite top side for lane dominance? Because Udyr will be pulled in multiple directions here. A Tristana Alistar lane on bottom side into Kaisa Rell. That has huge potential for snowball. That can be a very volatile lane. And so it's not like Spica. Yeah, it's not like Spica can just focus on Huni on top side on Ignite though. So is going to have to choose the pathing carefully here from TSM. Both side lanes having to play accordingly on both these matchups here. Impact, I do like the Aatrox into Camille, but the Ignite gives you that all-in potential to cut through the self-healing from Aatrox and to actually go for the kill, especially if you bring the jungler.
And remember, the previous game that Huni played this Camille with the Ignite teleport, this was the game that Evil Geniuses stomped. Huni tried to play aggro very early on. He was punished. He got caught out despite the fact that he came back into the game a little bit with some good rotations after the fact. Just not having that flash seemed to be so exploitable by Evil Geniuses, and now they'll have to run that back if they want to take us to game number 5, get them silver scrapes and stay alive here against TSM. Also, Tristana Alistar down there in the bottom lane. You were saying maybe Evil Geniuses, they just want to put Deftly on the comfort pick, let him play the Kaisa, give the Tristana over to the other side. But hey, man, now you're staring down the barrel of the bazooka machine gun that is Tristana, so they better be ready to play around this.
And remember in the last game too, we did have Lost doing some, very frontline AD carry play with, face checking Rell a couple of times. And we've seen Tristana well equipped to do that on rocket jump. So eyes are definitely going to be on this bottom lane. A lot of potential to carry here. Both of them looking for them to step up. But honestly, I really like when we do have this. Multiple lanes across the map that can be volatile. So there's a lot of options for junglers to get involved, and try and set this up. Definitely excited for this one because it's match point for TSM. Yeah. They said they're in their comfort zone here in the lower bracket now. They got the early advantage in this series of EG. They want to make another run like they did at the end of 2020, trying to run back the entire lower bracket to get that victory, claim that championship.
All right, here we go. Evil Geniuses either wins this game or this is their last game of the mid-season showdown. Lower bracket means no more second chances, man. No more opportunities to fix those mistakes. It is all on the line for the Evil Geniuses. Jiizuke back on the Nikko. We saw a good game on this from him earlier back in game number 2. He will transform into Rell right in front of PowerOfEvil. I'm going to assume that PowerOfEvil knows what he's up to here. Doesn't look like we're seeing any tricky behavior from either team here at level 1. Spica steps forward a little bit, sees Svenskeren, walks right back away.
All right, the real challenge. Which one of us is going to be looking at only minimap and be confused by the fact that Neeko's still, her passive changes the icon on the minimap? That just, for observers, I feel like is so troll because if they're not on screen, can't see that it's just the pink iteration of another champion. I'm going to say that I'll be the one to take the hit. I'm going to have, some attempt at another flanking champion there. Jiizuke, though, is at least mid lane, so we can keep track of him there. Ignite top side, and we are going to have what looks like bottom side jungle start, at least for Svenskeren here. Let's try and head up towards the Ignite lane. Once again on the Lillia here, starting blue. Very effective for him. Gets the pull off the bottom lane. Definitely expending the Q. Kaisa has a very good pull for junglers. You can greatly accelerate this Lillia along the path up towards Huni.
Okay, Huni just walking up there, wants to trade with Impact, walking inside the range of the sweet spot on Q2. Huni dropping down the ward on the Krugs, considering those Krugs are still up, and both of these junglers wanting to do those full clears. TSM's got a good idea that Svenskeren is indeed starting on that bottom part of the map. So what we want to see here from Huni is what we saw from Huni in the previous game, playing it safe. Nice interrupt there on the crash down. SwordArt making sure that he's got that tricky timing that you mentioned back at the start of the series down to interrupt Rell's early engages.
Yeah, some people cast the Q too late after she's past the apex of the jump on the crash down. It's not super hard to do, but if we have seen people mess it up if you're not paying attention and not being able to get it in time, then you get the awkward situation where the knockup does still hit from the crash down, and she gets her aftershock plus the opening there for the engage, and then you're stuck in the fight. Meanwhile, Spica went for the invade up here. off of that ward on Krugs does circle all the way around Svenskeren.
Around the Rosie.
We got a little ring around the Rosie jungle edition. We're not done yet. Just keep chasing them.
And look at that. It's going to be a fight over in mid lane at the same time as supports are rotating in. Another interrupt from SwordArt to stop another engage from Ignar. Svenskeren and Spica, they're both going after the red, but it got tired of this. It lost all its patience, and now it'll reset back to full HP. Spica wishes he could stay the same. However, the Eep comes down. Svenskeren's now the one down below 200 HP. TSM willing to commit for this. Svenskeren does have his smite ready to go here, does not want to use it just yet. Red buff about to reset for the second time. TSM commits 4 bodies to the top side jungle of the Evil Geniuses. And red buff resets for the third time, and everybody leaves the scene of the crime.
Let me regale you with the story of the TSM EG Game 4 red buff. This red buff lasted the longest that we've ever had a red buff survive, and it wasn't without many assailants. But in the end, they all give up on it and go right back home. Full reset there as Spica was chunked out and chased off of it. Teleports coming in from the mid laners. And honestly, I can't wait for the epic follow-up on it. You know, episode 2 of red buff inside EG's jungle. Gonna be a banger, I'm sure.
Episode 2, Attack of the Buff. When will it return? It's still not even being paid any attention right now. Svenskaren's decided, all right, we'll just clear through the camps on the bottom side of the map. We'll come back and try red buff again a little bit later. That was too risky last time around there. Evil Geniuses, they successfully defended though, right? That's the thing. TSM wasn't able to steal it away. And now Svenskeren just gets to have his red buff timer for a little bit longer. He'll have an effective red buff here when he hits around level 5. Maybe he can get some ganks done with that one. Huni's still feeling comfy up there in the top lane as well. Because of the fact that Svenskeren wasn't able to get things rolling with this red, that means that, hey, they couldn't focus on to bit ready to go.
I can tell you're already getting worried, like, all right, I think we're getting back into it. Let's get ready to jungle!
Let's do it, baby. Right back into the game. 5 minutes in. No kills on the board just yet. Looking back at the state of the game, making sure we all know what's going down. Both mid laners have already used their TP, getting back to lane after their first base. Both just picking up an extra starting item there with a tier for PowerOfEvil, the Dark Seal for Jiizuke, and Spica's up here on the top side. Impact's pretty far forward. Ignite already dropped. Spica with the flash. Bear, slap, get it done. Impact trying to survive a little bit longer, but it's first blood, and now the Hextech ultimatum. Goodbye, Lillia. Make it 2 for 1 special. TSM popping off in the top lane.
Oh, that is a big one, Flowers. What a big one it is, because guess what? The red buff is now TSM's. They completed the invade by killing off Svenskeren. They actually wear the red. Honestly, this is going to be so big for Ignite Camille top here for Huni. Uh-oh, Jiizuke, though.
Oh, Jiizuke, you don't want to die to PowerOfEvil in a solo kill, man. Not after already giving away 2 kills in the top lane here. Evil Geniuses at least keeps their mid laner alive, but he has got to get back to base and heal up.
Whew, yeah, definitely a close one there for him. Relies on the extra shield, though. Here, I was trying to look for an angle for Impact to flash, but Udyr is just so quick that he was able to get in there and flash on him beforehand, so not enough space gained. Maybe if he had been able to flash maybe over the back of the alcove there or something to buy more time for Svenskeren to get there. But honestly, I feel like they lose that 2v2 regardless. Svenskeren was on the way, but the move speed just not there for him. If you can't stack up the passive on Krugs or something first to be able to get over there with fully stacked passive, then Udyr Bear Stance is going to win out every day of the week. And Spica, the extra couple seconds, Flowers. There's so many plays in this series that have been an extra couple seconds of movement from one team or the other and trying to get to this play that really make the difference. There, the focus fire onto Impact, grabbing that kill. Now the Camille, you know, with the Sheen early buy and the grab bag of your starter items here. Basically, one of every type of knife, please. You go into the shop and order. How many knives can I hold? Well, Huni can hold at least 4.
Yeah, we got a butter knife, a steak knife, cheese knife, a bread knife, and a shiny rock, and a cookie. So there's all sorts of stuff here in his inventory. Meanwhile, Impact has a bonk hammer. And that's about it. Spica is about to give him a bad time here in the top side. This time we got a true 2v2 breaking out. Huni decides he wants to jump on in. Svenskeren with a two-man sleep. Watch out, Eve. Impact grabbing the first kill. Huni's trying to run away. PowerOfEvil providing a little bit of extra help here for his buddy. But the blooming blows get it done. The kill goes over to Jiizuke. Evil Geniuses strike back.
Ooh, they don't waste any time with it either. This time around, no timing difference. They chase him into the fog of war there, and Svenskeren heads up. Level 6 Lillia, let me tell you, that power difference between a level 6 power spike for Udyr is monumental. And Rift Herald actually getting teleported on, so they want to fight the aftermath.
Here they go. SwordArt's the one taking some damage here at the start. Has to flash away. Evil Geniuses under some pressure now with the engage coming through and Impact immediately dying. Huni wanting to continue forward. Hextech ultimatum guarantees kill number 2. Can they make it 3? Doesn't look like they can close the distance onto Svenskeren, but TSM's going to take that fight.
What a series, Flowers. This is why it's so fun. No team letting the other one get out alive, and it's true for SwordArt as well. Jiizuke lets him have it.
Beef for dinner, my friends. Jiizuke is not a vegetarian. Nikko here in this game number 4. He's guaranteeing this game is just going to be blow for blow the whole way through.
All right, that's just going to be a message from the pause. Disregard that. No extra interaction there. Spica, you can see, has already made his way back up to the tri-brush and is planning on camping top side. Here's another look at it, though, and I like that TSM make this call because they know there's no Lillia ultimate or Aatrox ultimate this time around. So you easily get that pick, and then with Rell wearing metal pants, she cannot walk in water, okay? There's no way she's getting out of this river. She can't walk anywhere with the metal pants, but the river, least of all. Then even through exhaust, really good burst there from Jiizuke. We're right back out to the action, though. Flowers top lane is banging.
We don't even have time to go over all the plays, man. We're already back to the PvP in top lane. Evil Geniuses sending their jungler up there once more. Svenskeren has the Eye of the Herald here ready to go. Impact tries to go for a little bit of Q damage here. Huni avoiding the first couple of sweet spots, winning out in the trade. And you can see on the left side of your screen right here, it's Jiizuke, the richest man on the Rift, 10 minutes into this one.
Yeah, definitely got to keep track of where all of these kills are going. Jiizuke has 2 of the last hits for himself, but also has been pushing in the Syndra early on, really trying to abuse that early power of Nikko. This champion does not scale nearly as well as so many of the other, control mage options for mid lane, which is why Nikko is not as frequently picked by really any of the other teams around the world. And is much more sparsely used when you want to play early aggressive skirmishes. But here we go, Deftly all in.
Okay, Deftly going in for the kill. On to Lost with a flash away from that point-blank W from the Kaisa. Oh, but the root onto PowerOfEvil stops him from being able to teleport down into the fight. This one was hectic all over across a couple of different lanes. Jiizuke stopping PowerOfEvil's summoner spell there. Deftly barely missing out on being able to get the kill thanks to a well-timed flash from Lost. And the entire time, it was Spica grabbing the first Drake of the game here for TSM thanks to the bot pressure once again.
So TSM, they still get the first dragon in this game as well, continuing their streak of the series. SwordArt does block the W, allowing the recall to go off. Important for the reset here because that timer would have been what EG won out of the bottom side play. And since they don't even get that, this is very big for TSM. Yeah, they still have a little bit of problem in the mid lane with Jiizuke's Nikko, but as I said before, it doesn't scale nearly as well. Has a lot shorter range in some of these team fights, and you see PoE actually already using the knockback on Syndra Scatter the Weak pretty effectively to disengage from some attempted Jiizuke ultimates. So TSM, despite losing the first turret, and maybe Spica.
Oh boy, flashing over the wall. He's just fine for now, but the chase continues. Evil Geniuses don't want to give this one away, but they have to. Spica walking all the way to the left to avoid the follow-up CC from Jiizuke, stays alive.
Yep, able to get away from the chain as well. Not long enough time for it to expire. It's going to be a trade, and TSM, once they finish up this tower, they will actually slingshot ahead in gold. Never mind, it's going to be the teleport in.
Not if they both get turned into loot pinatas, my friend. Lost is just going to have to buy as much time as he can. SwordArt will be killed off here. Impact taking that kill, definitely gets the other. And Evil Geniuses are right back in the driver's seat.
It's a yo-yo, Flowers. They get ahead, but EG double teleports expended to answer here. And that's just going to mean that they race the Camille on top side. Huni will stay top, work through some turret plates on top side. Meanwhile, EG trying to funnel Deftly. Remember in Champ Select, they made the unorthodox move to not pick up the Tristana, even in the current meta, and opt for Deftly Comfort on his Kaisa. He's definitely performing well in it already in this game. You can see why he has preferred it the entire season as most played champion. That definitely will allow EG to actually converge on some of the longer range plays that they like to make. You know, Jiizuke fishing around, landing CC with the Nikko, trying to make plays off mid. You can Kaisa Killer Instinct in and finish some of these people off. They actually didn't stick around on bottom side and get the extra turret plate there for him, though. Does have enough to finish his Kraken at least, and EG defend a decent amount on top side after their reset. As you can see, Svenskeren and Ignar have actually been working together a lot more in their attempts with the jungle and support synergy to control this vision.
Well, now the turret plating has fallen, with one turret being taken for each side before that occurred. We'll see which team is able to snowball better from this point. You can see the silver grayed out hourglass there on your mini-map near that Baron pit, which means second Rift Herald will be spawning here in just a little while. Evil Genius is rotating up towards the top side, and TSM doing the same. This is looking like the precursor to a team fight, my friend.
Get your tickets now, people. Get your tickets now, because it looks like 10 in the pit is an inevitability. EG are heading over through the jungle, definitely trying to push that wave in, but TSM, let's see about the positioning. Huni needs to look for a flank on the backside. Watch Jiizuke. He's got flash on the Nikko.
Okay, the Rift Herald's already down. It's been claimed by TSM. They've taken the objective, and Evil Geniuses is looking to take the fight. SwordArt wants to walk off to the side. PowerOfEvil's going to continue getting chased. Impact wants the damage, but he finds it with a Q2. Jiizuke's still alive with a bomb strapped to his head. He's finally fallen over. Definitely taking a kill onto Huni, though. Shutdown credit goes over to Lost. Ignar now stands alone. Double kill back to Deftly. Evil Geniuses kill 3 for 1.
And that's why you should always focus on the team fight. If it's a full commitment here for everybody, EG, they actually attack one side. As you saw, TSM were split, 3 people in the pit, 2 people back here through the jungle, and EG make the call to all in, engage on the 2 people, trying to gain an advantage in positioning. Here's a look at the replay. You see 3 in the pit, 2 back here. Ignar, good call going on to PoE, and they actually get the flash out. But SwordArt actually peels him pretty well for the beginning, and when Jiizuke flashes forward, he doesn't even land the snare onto PoE. Thankfully for EG, though, Impact could finish the deal, and he actually gets the kill for them, allowing EG to pick up the extra kill off the back of it and the extra money. Those kills are going a long ways, actually, to give EG a big victory in that fight. The Rift Herald being second Rift Herald, not worth nearly as much as the first, and so your gold value return on even getting that objective, not as big. Regardless, though, it's not going to change the way that this game is played. You still want TSM trying to open up that side lane for Huni, pushing super hard on it. They actually send both solo laners to finish off that outer turret to ensure that they have both side lanes to work with now. And they're not even worried about giving up the Dragon to do that because, you know, Huni with the Ignite, with the Trinity Force now completed, is going to be the one that they're trying to get these side lane pushes with.
Man, what a close game 4 we got here. Spica steals away the enemy red buff, this time without much of a contest for it. EG cannot rotate over in time. 500 gold separates the teams, 1 Drake each. Turret advantage to the side of TSM. They do have 2-1 in that department. They also still have about half the timer left on that Rift Herald, so 2 minutes remain to summon that one up. PowerOfEvil will collect a blue buff here to continue giving them that infinite mana, that extra push power, and level 11, so an even stronger ulti here in the upcoming fights, wherever the teams decide to fight next.
All right, definitely going to think it's going to be around mid. That's where the last outer turret for EG is, and we have such a long timer on any of the extra neutral objectives. This is going to be the point of power for TSM. You keep your Camille top, push out the extra wave, then take that 30 seconds to roam down and look for a flank through one of these control wards. Since they've got already the early step onto the map, they actually send PoE down to bottom side since he has teleport available. Syndra doesn't have to overextend, even though it would be scary, does have teleport, and they still have their outer tower standing, so PoE can easily clear up the cannon minion wave and still be prepared to take the confrontation around this mid-turret push here. EG definitely have good wave clear though, so
yeah.
actually can stall it no problem.
Plenty of wave clear over here for these guys. Kaisa with the Acathian Rain, especially once it evolves, can do a lot of damage really fast to everything around her. Spica walks up to find a Nikko clone running towards him that immediately poofs away. TSM still fighting from just the slightest of gold deficits, but summoning up the Rift Herald here in the mid lane as the timer is about to run out. Yeah, Spica takes a little damage, a little bit of poke here, but it doesn't matter too much. Lost right next to the Rift Herald. They should be able to escort this one in. Jiizuke goes for the Everfrost, only gets the slow, not the stun, so Lost can get away just fine. The Rift Herald gets the charge, but they will not kill off that tier 1 turret of Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, both turrets actually with comparable health right now. I think the big difference is bottom lane push acquired for TSM. So is Deftly again going to be the one elected, to go get solo lane experience, and Farm looks like already, yeah, he's heading out through the jungle there. That opening with the extra 30 seconds of pushing here from PoE could be when TSM try and converge. But you see Ignar, popping the extra Scryer's Bloom right there and being able to have all these control wards through jungle. With vision control comes safety for EG, and they don't have to give up anything.
No sacrifices needing to be made. Feels good, man. And look at that Thornmail coming online for impact. Very important pickup there. Remember that Bramble Vest only works if you get auto attack to apply grievous wounds, while Thornmail anytime you immobilize an opponent. So anytime he hits a sweet spot on one of those Qs, he's applying grievous wounds to whoever he strikes. So pretty important upgrade. With these next team fights potentially only a couple minutes away, it is that third Drake of the game. It's Infernal Rift here yet again, and it's about 100 seconds out. Spica rotating up here towards the top lane, finds Impact waiting in the brush. Huni jumps over the wall here with a hook shot. Impact trying to stand and fight, trying to buy enough time here for Jiizuke to make his way in with a pop blossom, and that looked awesome. Impact gets over the wall, but now the follow-up is there, and TSM makes it a 1-for-1. Impact's running away, but it's Lost who will be the first one to find him here in the river. Impact continues moving forward. Q1 misses. Q2's not going to do a whole lot here just yet. Impact's taken down, but a nice interrupt means it's 1-for-1. Impact for Lost there. So 2 dead for TSM, 2 dead for Evil Geniuses. The fight breaks even.
I'm wondering why he hesitated initially on seeing Impact there on the fruit, because I've seen a lot of Tristana players. As soon as you see, 300-400 health, Aatrox there, maybe he's like, Gorge Blaster, heal. But yeah, I was really feeling like that is a moment of just blast him. Rocket jump on his freaking head, get that explosive shot out.
Yeah.
Full combo with your ult, Hail of Blades should be able to burst it. But as you mentioned, it's a full Thornmail Aatrox. So look at this. Like, he lasts longer in the skirmishes. It's more for a teamfight. And, Jiizuke does come in with the Pop Blossom. They get the initial kill. PoE answering teleports means that is answered back there for TSM too. But yeah, maybe it's the fully completed Thornmail that makes you second guess. And maybe, it is back up. You see the active there for the Gore Drinker. So a little bit cautious of that, but that buys enough time at least for the counter kill onto the Tristana. So because he didn't immediately execute, does get the counter kill there for EG, and we're still looking at a very even dragon fight. Being chased off on the bottom side here, Huni, the flank is not going to be an option for him. EG run him all the way out of the pit.
Okay, it's team fight time. Dragons down to 1K. Svenskeren going in, but overall it's Lost who gets the thing. Okay. Neither one of the junglers' smites comes through, so that just means it's up to Tristana to get it done. Evil Geniuses are not able to punish TSM, and they walk away from this engagement without ever engaging and taking the objective for free. Okay, now they're trying to follow it up a little bit, but Spica's too fast, man. Udyr runs real fast. That's what his champion does. It's about all he does, but he does it really well.
Certainly does. Honestly, I really thought it was going to be a little bit harder of a force of EG on this dragon fight, push in since they had zoned off Huni so well. And Huni was not going to have a good flank target, even if it took him an extra couple seconds to come up through Tribrush, which was warded by EG. I mean, just look right now. Look at those 5 wards. They created a star basically around Dragon with full vision on all sides for EG. But unable to slip in and actually get that Dragon with the extra burst damage there. So, you know, it's just Dragon number 2, not a pivotal one.
Yeah,
but
it's a huge difference.
Yeah, it isn't going to be the determining factor here. Constantly, we're looking for these engages. Ignar on Rell. There's just so many big possibilities with this because you can attach your E to impact on Aatrox, who has so much mobility, and since he's built tanky like this, fully stacking a bunch of armor with steel caps and thornmail, and even also getting some magic resist with a quick no magic mantle pickup here. He's a very, very tanky boy that can be a good, you know, partner here. We already see it. Ignar early attaching the E, so you know they could look for some possible picks for themselves there.
Well, they didn't fight when there was a dragon here, so there's not much of a reason to fight when there's not a dragon here.
But if you win a fight here, then you run to Baron. And you get some big, big rewards.
I see. This is why you're the smart guy, see. Now, we got the Baron up there. 24 minutes into the game, still a little bit early, especially when the teams are this close overall. You don't want to overcommit, end up throwing the whole game away on a bad Baron call here. Second items are coming online across the board for a lot of different players. We've got Tristana on the Phantom Dancer power spike, now Executioner's calling as well, also to try to deal with some of the healing from the Aatrox there on that front line. You can see the Ravenous Hydra now fully completed for Huni. And as PowerOfEvil takes a little bit of poke. And there's Dead Man's Plate for Udyr. So if you thought he ran fast earlier, it's time for him to run even faster around in these team fights. And talking about running fast, Jiizuke with a Cosmic Drive completed as well. Remember the Cosmic Drive, if your name is not Veigar, you can't really rush it if you want to have the bonus. But as a second item, can be very effective for giving you that movement speed that can make a big difference for a champion like Nikko.
Yeah, and I love the cooldown reduction on it. It's actually just so effective for Nikko, just chain casting skills, because you were talking about how frustrating it is to play against how much crowd control is in this game for melee champs like you know, Udyr that does have to run. You know, Cosmic Drive on top of Everfrost combination means it's hard to run around this Nikko, as there's going to be a lot of answers there. And I do like how Svenskeren has actually gone for the Liandry's version of Lillia here, because there is many, many targets that he can tag and get a lot of value out of this burn. It's going to be a full health stacking Udyr there. And goes a long way in actually trying to get through some of the front line on TSM.
TSM's coming in for the collapse as Evil Geniuses look to take down the Tier 1 turret. It's SwordArt starting it off. Ignar's the focus, but that guy's a tank. You can't focus the tank. TSM, they go for the play, but they can't quite find it just yet. Deftly wants to dash back over the wall, but instead he stays right here with the rest of the team. He's got the damage. He is unstoppable. Huni's the next one to fall. It is a 2-for-0 for EG. They wanted a Tier 1 turret here in the mid lane. They won't find it, but TSM give them 2 kills, and they're marching over to Baron.
They're both tanks. Yeah, turns out you can focus the tank if you got bigger guns. Definitely was able to melt right through him with the Kaisa. No Kaisa ult this time around, though, so inside the Baron pit, TSM looking for a big Syndra stun.
Okay, they gotta find some sort of a big play here to stop these guys. Ignar's almost killed, but almost is better than dead. PowerOfEvil's taken down. 5v2 here on the map. Let's see if Evil Geniuses can finish this off. Spica goes into the pit. Baron's taken incredibly low. Baron is stolen away by Spica. TSM is wiped for it, but a huge steal from the TSM jungler.
Look at that! He's dying with his hands in the air. I did it! Job done for the Udyr here. He runs, he blast cones in, and he finishes the Baron from 1,700 health. Tiger into Phoenix, smites it away, and Spica does it again for TSM. SwordArt had even revived from his earlier death, so they actually have a Baron buff. Look at this. He's on it. Jiizuke actually throwing his spells through the Baron, trying to hit Spica, did more damage to Baron. Oh, man. That is a
tilter.
It certainly is. That could have been a game-breaking, win for EG right there if they got Baron and that full ace for themselves, but being denied by Spica means TSM still have chances at ending this series out in a game number 4 right now. I will say they had better do something about Deftly, though, because this whole change in priority away from the Tristana back to his comfort, Kaisa here, early on in the draft phase has paid off. This guy, killer instinct right over to all these plays, feeding him so many of these kills. This Kaisa will melt through anything right now. Lord Dominic's been picked up a while ago for him. And he's certainly the biggest threat that TSM have to keep eyes on. So Huni, Spica, PowerOfEvil, SwordArt, literally everybody has got to watch out for that displacement there with Killer Instinct. There is one exhaust that's coming back up there for SwordArt. So he's definitely going to try and get some value out of that there. I'd still say EG are in the better position, even though TSM do get their Baron still. You see it's buying time for them.
They're just stalling with it.
Yeah, exactly. You're not getting near that mid turret, though. At least not yet.
I really do like the fact that I was wrong in the draft. When Evil Geniuses gave away the Tristana, I said I didn't like this. I said I hated it. Tristana is just one of the most powerful champions in the whole game right now, but definitely on this comfort pick, on this Kaisa, really showing off how much that can matter in these big high-stakes moments. 7-0-3, 10 out of 15 kill participation, just popping off when his team needs him to do it. On the other side, though, PowerOfEvil level 16 on the Syndra, just recently dinged that one. Means he has the ultimate fully evolved, getting extra range too. Remember the power of Syndra's passive, once an ability is fully ranked up, it gets an extra bonus. And for the ulti, it's cast range. So that much easier for PowerOfEvil to apply that incredible burst damage to Deftly in the middle of these fights. Deftly will need to have good use of his own exhaust to help him stay alive. As Infinity Edge is completed, that's a 5-item Kaisa, Kobe.
Ouch! That's all that I see when I see that, because he is so much more fed than everyone else in the game. They're going for the flank, though. Impact on Aatrox. Remember, he's extremely tanky. There's a difference in how these two teams want to play the game because of the top laners. Camille, full split push right now. She's got the trifecta of Sterix plus the Ravenous plus the Trinity Force. Perfect 3-item power spike, unmatched in split push, and you see him going for it. TSM, though, they've got the tank Aatrox, and Tanktrox is coming for that mid turret.
Okay, the dive's coming out from Evil Geniuses. Ignar here on the front line, but a beautiful counterattack from TSM. Just absolutely destroys them. Support engages just feel a little bit cursed here in these mid lane fights, but now the counterattack to the counterattack, and it's Huni. Every time it's always Huni getting caught out in these follow-ups, man. Evil Geniuses get the punish, and it's 1-for-1.
Oh, man, he's going to hear about that one certainly later, because that was just after PoE comes up with this huge burst play, getting the kill. Ignar just blown off of Summoner's Rift here. Look at this. All right, so initially he stuns Deftly all the way back at Tower 1. So this initiation from EG, I think, is just poor attention to detail. Deftly was Syndra stunned way back at Tower 1, so he didn't follow up with any damage. But then, that's again poor attention to detail as Huni walks right up into all the CC we talked about Nikko having. Jiizuke, good pick for EG there, is able to clean it up. The initiations, if you're off by a little bit of spacing, not coordinated with your DPS, that means a difference in a world here, because definitely as fed as he is, being 2 screens back, or even just 1 screen back, not there during the initial CC from EG, doesn't get the damage out, and TSM were able to find an opening.
Very important thing, too. Deftly now with the stopwatch in inventory in that 6th item slot. The dragon is spawning in 40 seconds. Deftly will have that extra outplay potential here in this fight. We know he has to be the focus, and that 2.5 seconds of invulnerability could be the difference in a win and a loss in this team fight for Evil Geniuses, a win and a loss in this game for Evil Geniuses. It's so evenly balanced on that knife's edge here in this game, about 2,000 gold apart between the teams. Jiizuke's clone runs forward. TSM is grouped up here in this river. It's Huni left alone here on the flank. They got to be careful to not throw him in there too early. Impact takes a couple of hits from Spica, but not a whole lot. Infernal Chains will not be able to pull him back. Udyr can escape in time. TSM has priority over the Drake Pit for now. Lost will immediately just start getting them auto attacks, stacking it up. That Phantom Dancer going. He's up to the 4 stacks, ready to go. TSM taking the Drake down to about 1,000. It is secured by Spica yet again. The boys got the smites where they need to be. Impact's approaching from the side. Huni's able to stop him. Jiizuke looking for some of the lockdown, but he only finds it onto SwordArt, who's already stuck back in the ulti here. Ignar coming in, definitely legendary, and Huni's already gone. Evil Geniuses haven't lost anybody except their mid laner yet. TSM also here with 4 men still alive. Chasing after Svenskeren. Spica looks for a little bit more damage, but does not want to overchase. TSM now find them in a spot where Evil Geniuses can collapse. Impact with a flash engage, making sure he's able to go in. Definitely jumping in now as well. TSM having to get lost out of the mix now. Svenskeren the first one to die. Ignar's going to be taken out next. Deftly is alone. Deftly's changed CC. Deftly's taken down. And goodness gracious, TSM destroy that team fight.
TSM Alcove, are you kidding me? They just outplay EG. The focus here, definitely not able to get in. And it was a big difference in front lines. Flash there from Impact to try and get the setup to actually deal damage, but definitely not able to follow up there. And you could see PoE hitting the stun, walking back into the alcove, creating that space. Him and Lost are able to burn through that front line, and that means they are rewarded with Baron. 33-47 into the game. Soul Point coming up in 3 more minutes. TSM with this Baron, they can actually gain map control, set up all of their side lane pressure. This Camille, Huni's going to have the time of his life here with Baron buff accentuating his split push. They can finish off the remnants of these secondary towers and get full vision over the Soul Fight Dragon. Here's another look at the beginning of it though. It is Huni being traded right now for Jiizuke. He gets the stopwatch off to buy time. Meanwhile, Huni also getting burned down there on the outside, turning into the 4v4. But here is where they have the kind of difference where everybody going up towards Svenskeren, now getting kited on. Impact, you can see him charging up his Qs, flashes in, but Deftly's not in range to attack during that flash. And then when he flashes in, SwordArt headbutts him out. So there were like 2 autos there from the biggest DPS sort. Meanwhile, Lost and PowerOfEvil kite back into the alcove, and they take down the EG front line, allowing TSM to win that fight. It's just really good heads-up play and awareness, you know, working around the big DPS threat in these fights.
5,800 damage from Lost on the Tristana. And I guess that's the problem, right? Going back to Champion Select, yes, Deftly has been popping off on the Kaisa, but when you don't take Trist, they also now get to play Trist, and he gets to do 5,800 damage in a team fight. So TSM feeling good about their current spot in this game. The Baron buff will last another minute and 38 seconds. Then the Dragon's going to spawn just about not even 30 seconds after that. So full control over the map right now, pushing onto 2 different tier 2 turrets at the same time. Tristana will do what she does best and just knock over that turret oh so easily as everybody else rotates down bottom and looks to pick up another one, build this gold lead even further.
You know what I like most about that last team fight for TSM is that SwordArt is displaying one of the biggest truths that you need to learn early for tanks. Oh, never mind. We might have a fight here now.
All right. We don't have the time for it, my friend. Evil Genius is coming in, looking to make the collapse with the TP play as Jiizuke goes for the damage onto Lost. Massive shutdown. Evil Genius is now with a shutdown back onto Deftly. AD carry for AD carry. TSM's turning the fight right back around with a double kill over to Huni. Impact stands 1v4, but the CC is too much. There's way too much still left in the tank, man. TSM, it looked bad. They lost Trist at the start of the fight, but the immediate counter kill on the enemy AD carry, and TSM is poised to win this series right here.
It was a hard-fought game number 4 here for both sides, but TSM inside the base, they're going to rack up their first dub of playoffs into the lower bracket for TSM and right over Evil Geniuses.
Evil Geniuses had a couple of good-looking games here in this series, but it was not enough. Their journey in the Mid-Season Showdown ends here, and TSM moves forward 3-1.
Really like how some of these, you know, team fights especially are executed towards the later stages. SwordArt in the last one really demonstrating how the best way to tank Captain Flowers and play frontline for your team is to not get hit by the enemy AD carry. You know, headbutting, zoning, threatening with these skills and using spacing to avoid damage rather than soak damage means a world of a difference. Because tank items right now don't allow you to become the juggernauts of old. There's no more, 15-second long fights where people are trying to work through full tank champions anymore. Towards the late stages of the game, all the AD carries are involving Lord Dominix in their builds. You simply don't last as long. And so when you buy time like that by avoiding damage, creating space with the team, and syncing up some of these crucial moments in these fights where you're having the engages right on the split second when the DPS actually gets to, follow up with that damage. That's how you create Lost doing, 5.8k damage in the team fight, and creating that differential, which really does mean the difference in some of those things like we saw with them kiting back through the alcove.
And this also goes to show what your placement in the regular season got for you. For TSM, when they played against Liquid after they lost that series, they have their redemption chance, right? Evil Geniuses, they put up a good fight against TSM here, but considering they only got to start in the lower bracket because of their regular season finish, that means it's over. Evil Geniuses will have to watch the rest of the mid-season showdown from home. TSM gets to move forward, continue to play on next week. And honestly, there's going to be a couple things that need to be improved. There were some questionable deaths from Huni. There were some times where the team fell behind as a whole, made a couple of errors, but they demonstrated their ability to come back as a squad, to punish their opponent's mistakes, and to team fight better, to play as a team better. You're talking about SwordArt guaranteeing that nobody's going to be aggroed unless they absolutely have to be. I'm looking at PowerOfEvil making some big CC moments, getting the burst onto the right targets. TSM is a squad that knows how to get these things done. That's all for me. That's all for Kobe. That's all for us here at the casting desk. We're throwing to a commercial.